Tucker Carlson had a guest on, and his role is the Uncle Tom liberal. So this guy is going to pull a Dave Rubin and discuss why he left the left. I'm a serious intellectual, and my job is going to be to shit on the side that I used to be on. So let's watch, and then we'll discuss.
Well, not everybody on the left is on board with where the left is going. Some are afraid of where the left is going. And if you just watch the last segment, you ought to be afraid. Brandon Straka has spent years as a liberal. He now says he's concerned by what the left has become. He recently released a new video encouraging other progressives to walk away from the movement. Brandon Straka joins us tonight. Brandon, thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
So
Tucker.
what was the moment? You were a liberal for a long time. You voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
What was the pivot point for you when you decided these people don't represent me and I want something different?
Well, before the election, I was already starting to feel uncomfortable with where we were headed in terms of identity politics and PC culture. I became a liberal because I'm against racism, I'm against sexism, I'm against discrimination because of sexual orientation. But to be on the left now means that you basically have to be hostile towards white people. You have to be hostile towards men. You have to find heteronormativity to be erroneous in some way. So I started to see these cultural shifts happening that I was very uncomfortable with. But a friend of mine came to me and she actually showed me something that pointed out very clearly how dishonest the media was in the Donald Trump campaign, how they would isolate moments from his behavior and make it appear as though he were a racist or a bigot or whatever. Now, I didn't realize this. I thought that CNN told the truth. I thought MSNBC told the truth. I thought Rachel Maddow told the truth. So this was mind-blowing to me. And once I realized this, I sort of went on a quest to find out more and see how much, what other things were they not being honest with me about, which it turns out was quite a lot. And once I discovered this, I tried talking with other people, and I was met with a lot of hostility and contempt. And a lot of friends left, and were very nasty to me on the way out the door. I decided that once and for all, I was going to sit down and write the definitive manifesto about everything that's wrong with liberalism, everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party, and put it in a video and just rip the Band-Aid off and stick it out there. But I wanted to create a campaign because I knew there were other people like me who were feeling the same way. So what I've done is I've created a testimonial campaign utilizing video and written testimonials. This is happening right now on Facebook. It's called the #WalkAway campaign. People are going on there from the left, leaving video testimonials and written testimonials talking about why they're walking away or why they have walked away. But what's even more amazing about it and even better is people on the right are participating too. I've given a voice back to the silent majority because now we're cutting out the media who's controlled the narrative of what it means to be a conservative and said it's all racists and bigots. I'm allowing people to tell their own stories and say, I'm not a racist, I'm not a bigot.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Well, good for you, Brandon, because I think there are a lot of decent liberals out there who are not represented by this lunacy. The hatred that you're watching that you just saw in our previous segment. Good luck. Brandon, I support that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tucker.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know if this guy is like, oh no, this is a real genuine thing that happened to me and I'm discussing it and I'm being like open and honest, or if he found an angle and the angle is lucrative and he's now going to try to build a career off of this idea of being, I'm the person who left the left and now I'm exposing everything that's wrong with them. I mean, we know that it is a lucrative option for many people to do that. So I don't know if this is genuine or if it's like an angle that this guy found and is profitable. But what I find amazing about this stuff is, like, they really do talk about the left and the right in a cultish way. As if it's like totally normal and possible to just do a 180 on everything you believe. Because when somebody says, oh, I'm on the left, or oh, I'm on the right, or oh, I'm in the center, or whatever, that's not like a monolith. That's not like I'm one thing. There are so many issues that make up your political identity. So when you talk to this guy, I want to ask him, okay, so when you were on the left, were you pro-choice? Okay, and then when you left the left, were you all of a sudden pro-life? When you were on the left, were you in favor of immigration? To one degree or another. Let's just say moderate immigration. Were you in favor of that when you were on the left? And did you switch to being against undocumented immigrants when you moved to the right? When you were on the left, did you support marijuana legalization? when you're on the right, now do you not support marijuana legalization? When you were on the left, did you support a progressive tax system where the rich pay a higher rate than the poor? Now that you're on the right, did you change your mind on that? When you were on the left, did you support a more non-interventionist stance towards war? Now that you're on the right, are you now in favor of more war? So in other words, my point is, when you go down the list of all the issues, who knows how many issues there are? 50? So did you say I was reliably on the left on all 50 of these issues, and now, suddenly, I moved to the right, and now on all 50 of those issues, I am now reliably to the right? Because when people have these conversations like this in this broad way, that's what I hear. Now, I want to be fair to the guy, and I want to understand what he's saying. But certainly what I hear is, there are all these issues. On all these issues, I was reliably on the left, and then now I consider myself on the right, which means you didn't just change your mind on one issue. You didn't just change your mind from being pro-choice to pro-life. You changed your mind on like 30 to 50 issues. And that's the only way in which his comments make sense, is if he actually changed his mind on all these different issues. But the thing that amazes me again, and which is why I said this is like cultish, is like, no, I totally would understand 100%. Let's say you changed your mind on 6 or 7 of the 30 to 50 issues. Yeah, it's called growing up. It's called maturing. It's called reading. It's called evolving as a person. I wouldn't expect you to have the same beliefs when you're fucking 18 as you do when you're 52. I would hope that you evolve and learn and read and grow. But when you say, hey, I've now switched on these 30 to 50 issues, and my broad categorization hasn't gone from far left to center left, but my categorization has gone from left to right, that's cultish. That's like saying I just changed from Islam to Christianity, or I just changed from Buddhism to Hinduism. It's like, really? Then you're not thinking about these things in like a nuanced, specific way. You're just like, you want to lump yourself in with a team, and now you switched to tribal affiliations. So that's why I always feel like these kinds of characters are just so disingenuous and weird. Because it's like, no, you have an angle, and you're playing an angle, aren't you? Like, you realize it's profitable, it's lucrative to be like, oh, I'm the guy who was on the left, and now I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong about the left. I'm going to shit on them all day long. It strikes me as disingenuous, is what it is. So I want to go through some of the points he makes, because these aren't like reasons to do a total 180 on your political identity. He goes, well, I realize that it's all about identity politics and PC culture on the left. Okay, anybody who's watching this clip right now, listening to this show right now, who is familiar with this show, they will tell you, in no uncertain terms, I'm on the left, and I totally oppose identity politics and PC culture. From when this show began full-time, which was what, late 2012, early 2013, you could go back and see segments from then where I lash out against joke outrage from what I would call the authoritarian left, the people who want to censor and deplatform and stuff like that. So I would describe myself as on the left because that's where my policy positions fall, broadly speaking. But I'm 100% against identity politics and PC culture. So you see what they're doing, right? They're taking the authoritarian left, they're taking the fringe examples, and he's now using that to do a broad generalization of the left. That's like us saying, hey, the Richard Spencer types? The fucking people who were marching and saying Jews will not replace us and white lives matter, and they were protesting to keep a Confederate monument up? Yeah, those are the people who represent the right. Not the far right, not the authoritarian right, not the identity politics right, the right. See, to him, he's bashing the left, and he's saying it's all about PC culture and identity politics. Except, what about all the lefties where they're actually against PC culture and identity politics? You don't want to talk about them. And it's amazing, because it's like these people don't realize that that's a thing. That like, oh, you can be against PC culture and identity politics and still be on the left? I didn't know that was possible. Of course it's fucking possible. Of course it's possible. You can believe in a Medicare for all system and free college and a living wage and ending the wars and a New Deal and a social democratic system and legalizing marijuana, so libertarian on social issues. You can believe in all that stuff and say, you know what? I'm kind of against joke outrage. I'm kind of against deplatforming speakers. I'm kind of against people saying that their identity comes above everything else and it supersedes their belief in certain economic policies. What a clown. This guy, you're a joke. You're a joke, but you're following somebody else who came before you who kind of paved the path for you, aren't you? And then he says, oh, you have to be hostile towards white people and men. I'm white. I'm a man. I'm on the left. What the fuck are you talking about? Now, listen, are there some people on the far left, the authoritarian left, who do kind of, yeah, they prioritize identity so much that it's like, oh, here's our victim narrative, here's our oppressed status, and we will define you as an oppressor if you fall into these categories. Yeah, those people exist. It is a tiny fringe of the far left, and it is not representative of the left. I am a white man. I am straight. I am on the left. So this idea of like, well, if you're a white man and you're straight, there's no place for you there. Nonsense. I still want people to have a fucking living wage, dipshit. So I'm not going to join these people whose entire movement right now is based on doing corporate tax cuts. That's what the Republicans are doing. They have power right now. They have power right now. So I'm glad that, your snowflake feelings aren't hurt because the Republicans in power, they don't say anything against white men and straight people. So I'm happy that they're not hurting your feelings. I am. But they're also gutting the corporate tax rate and giving all the money to the rich and letting them run out the back door with it. Adding over $1 trillion to the debt in the process. Raising taxes on the middle class at the same time. Over a decade, Trump's tax bill raises taxes on everybody who makes $75,000 a year or less. See, the thing is, they abandon all these really serious issues because they're so overly focused on the culture wars and because they define the fringe of the far left as the left. And then he says they're hostile to heteronormativity. Again, I'm a straight white man. I'm straight. I've never felt like you're attacking the fact that I like women. And then finally, and here's how you know, he's a rookie at this. Like, at least Ruben is better at playing this game than this guy is. And that's true. Ruben is better than this guy at playing this game. He says, I used to think MSNBC and CNN told the truth. So it's not that you were on the left, it's that you were an idiot. Because you talk to people on the left today, and let me tell you something. Well over 80% of them will be like, no, I don't trust CNN. No, I don't trust MSNBC. They suck. They suck. MSNBC fired Phil Donahue because he was against the Iraq War. MSNBC fired Cenk Uygur because Cenk Uygur went after Obama from the left. So they have they're corporate media, asshole. CNN, oh my God, they're the worst. Fucking talking about missing planes for a week and a half as half the country makes $30,000 a year or less. And you thought MSNBC and CNN told the truth? No, it's not that you were on the left. It's that you were a dipshit. It's that you're an unserious person who never thought through issues seriously. And I love how Tucker Carlson has this person on like, oh, we're witnessing something special here, something real here. No, you're witnessing a guy who's a grifter. You're witnessing a guy who found a way to make money by playing the left-wing guy who left the left, and he's not even good at it.